The three decans of Cancer develop the same theme that we saw in the major constellation, that of the redeemed gathered together in safety and security, surrounded or encircled by his power and his love. It's interesting that we keep arriving at this idea of encircling, because the first decan, Ursa Minor, actually includes the polar star around which all the stars revolve. The meaning of Ursa Minor, now obscured by a bear, was a sheepfold. The second decan, Ursa Major, the large bear, was the sheepfold and the sheep. Finally, the third decan has retained its original image of a ship in which the travellers and pilgrims are being brought safely home. Their battles are over, and the ship is called Argo. The theme is constant throughout Cancer and the decans. Let's look at Ursa Minor. Here is the constellation, and there is the polar star at the tip of the tail. There's Draco the dragon winding around, and there's King Cepheus just to the side there. Now I'm going to read a paragraph, a short paragraph from Bullinger. It says this, quote, "It's sufficient to point to the fact that no bear is found in any Chaldean, Egyptian, Persian or Indian zodiacs, and that no bear was ever seen with such a tail." That's a good point. No one who had ever seen a bear would have called attention to a tail, such as no bear ever had, by placing in its very tip the most important, wondrous and mysterious polar star, the central star of the heavens, round which all others revolve. The patriarchal astronomers, we may be sure, committed no such folly as this. Unquote, and well said. The original names of the stars reveal that this decan was a further emphasis on the truth of safety and security in the Redeemer, which was the message, if you remember, of Cancer. Now, the brightest star in a larger constellation, not Ursa Minor, this one, but Ursa Major, we'll look at that one next. The brightest star is Duvet, and this is the key to understanding these signs, both of them. Duvet, you see, means a herd of animals. In Arabic, Dubar means cattle, so we've got a similar idea there. The Hebrew dover is a fold, and a related word is doveh, which means rest or security. So we've got this idea of security, rest, animals held, encircled in a protective place. The word appears in Deuteronomy 33, verse 25. As thy days, so shall thy strength, or doveh, be. Your protection, your strength, your security. Some versions read, so shall thy rest or security be. So, we've got a safe and secure fold for God's redeemed people. The bright star in the centre, which is named Kochav, means waiting for him who cometh. Other stars are Al-Ferdadayin, which means calves or the redeemed assembly. Another is Al-Gedi, the kid, Al-Qaid, the assembled, while Arcas, which is this star up here, Arcas, according to one interpreter, means the stronghold of the saved. And so the message is crystal clear once we get past the graffiti of later pagan generations. Now here's something very interesting. This is the polar star today. Its ancient name is Al-Rukaba, which means the turned or ridden upon. When the constellations were formed by God, the brightest star in Draco the dragon, Thuban, was the polar star in those days. The inspired minds of the early generations called today's polar star, which wasn't the polar star then, but is now, by a name meaning the turned or ridden upon, implying that it would one day become the hub of the heavens. But the star that was the polar star of their day, they named Thuban, the subtle. Did they know that the dragon that was coiled around the polar north of the earth would one day be shifted from that dominant position, and it would be given to the redeemed community of God, and so named the stars prophetically? Yes, they could have been thinking along these lines. God spoke to Abraham in Genesis chapter 22 verse 17 saying, "Thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies." Now there are two seeds referred to in the full quote. "I will multiply your descendants as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is on the seashore, and your descendants shall possess the gate of their enemies." The message within the stars is in perfect agreement with that which is in the Bible.